Hey y'all, and welcome to the Open House Challenge recap video. Before we get started, I want to say that I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year. But let's jump right into it and go over what the Open House Challenge was, why I did it, what I learned from it, and what I'm doing in 2026. I do have my notes with me because this is a lot of information, so trying to read off of it is the first one that I am doing where I have notes and I'm just kind of talking. So, first and foremost, I decided to do 50 open houses starting October 1st, and I wanted to complete it before the end of the year. So, basically, 50 open houses in 90 days. I ran across the challenge when I was on TikTok. I saw Sam Wells Realty on there doing 100 open houses in 100 days. Again, that was a bit much for me, so I decided to break it down into my time constraints and create a fun challenge for me that I could maintain that was still a challenge but was also doable. So there are a couple of reasons why I decided to do this challenge. One, I really do like hosting open houses. They're fun and they're a great way for me to get face to face with people. I'm better with people when I am face to face. I don't like to cold call. I don't like talking on the phone. It's just something that I would rather have a conversation with you to your face than over the phone. I don't enjoy being or seeming to be a pushy salesman. I'm here again primarily to educate and advocate for my clients versus actually selling on something. For our sellers, we're there to advocate for their homes, market it, and sell those. And open houses give me a perfect opportunity to get my sellers' homes in front of as many people as possible, online and in person. I really wanted to have real conversations with people to actually talk to buyers in the market, see what their frustrations were, see what they were experiencing, and see what they thought about the home so that we could give that feedback to our sellers to help them sell their homes. Also, one of my big goals for this challenge was to get more comfortable with content creation, and mainly so that I can market not only my own services that I provide to people, but also market our sellers' homes. So, why did I decide to do it between October 1st and the end of the year? Well, first, the idea came to me in September, so I didn't have much time, but I wanted to go ahead and jump on it and do the challenge. But another reason, too, is because if open houses didn't attract people to them during the slow season, then it might be something that I need to revisit and not try to build my business around. If this challenge had completely flopped, we didn't get any visitors to the open houses or any attendees, or if we just couldn't do open houses, then this would be something that I wouldn't take into this year. So, with all that laying the groundwork for how to start this challenge, I decided to build out the process and I wanted to fully commit to it. From October 1st to the end of the year, I was going to be doing open houses and at a high number of open houses in the exact same way each time. How I picked the homes was one, our clients' homes came first. I wanted to make sure that I was front loading and doing as many open houses for our clients to market their properties and to get people in them while also being able to connect with the buyers that were coming to them. After that, I would look at our brokerage, reach out to other agents, and coordinate with them and their sellers to see if we could do open houses at their properties. I did have a preference for vacant homes. They were easier to set up and get into. A lot of times things change, especially with the way we were doing it, because I would do at least 2 open houses in one day and possibly follow into the next day with a third open house at the same property. And that's a lot sometimes for people that are currently living in the home to have to leave either for the whole day, then also leave the next day while trying to juggle kids or work or anything else that they're doing. So vacant homes were the easiest ones to do, but we did do some open houses at lived-in properties. The other thing I wanted to focus on was affordable homes. So I didn't want to be sitting in $800,000, $900,000 homes. I wanted the price range to be between $250,000 and $500,000, where most buyers are looking and where most buyers' budgets are. So some statistics to get into, we sat at a total of 22 homes and 7 of those were our own listings. We did 22 open houses at our own listings, and then we did 28 open houses at 15 brokerage listings, or listings that weren't us, where I had to coordinate with other agents. For the price ranges, homes between 250 to 300,000, we sat 7 open houses at. From 300 to 350,000, we set 3 open houses at. From 350 to 400,000, we set 2 open houses at. From 400 to 450, we sat 5 open houses at. From 450 to 500, we sat 2. And then we had basically 3 open houses above that 550 mark that we sat at as well. So each week I would plan, or at least try to plan, a week ahead. When I started, I had 2 weeks planned already. We had enough listings that I was able to coordinate with our sellers to make sure that I had a strong start. And then from there, I would try to plan 1 week ahead. So the week while I'm doing open houses, I'd be planning the next week. I tried to keep it pretty simple with sign-in sheets, some lender information, along with a property book that had all the info on the home itself for anybody that came and visited the open house. I would also do a weekly email on Saturdays for that next week's open houses. And then we would do a social media post. So I would try to post either the day before or the day of for that specific open house across all my social media platforms. On top of that, each week I would do a long YouTube video that y'all have watched, and thank you for your support on that as well. But those longer YouTube videos would be full home tours where I would talk about the areas and the homes themselves to hopefully bring y'all some valuable information as well and just educate you on the area of Upstate South Carolina. And then the big thing that most people seem to enjoy was the shorter videos of TikToks of where I would talk about what homes we were sitting. And I always like to do a what you missed at our open house for the last one. I made sure to post those videos after each open house as soon as I had time, and to get that content recorded as soon as possible when I was at the home. I kept that process very much the same throughout the entire challenge. I didn't want to change anything. I wanted to stick to it and see what it does, and then take the results and tweak it from there. So what I did learn and what did work is that the consistency was great. I saw a growth in both my social media content, which means more exposure for our sellers, and it means more information for our buyers. It was a fun way for buyers or people to just look at homes and see little things about them in short-minute clips. And then there was also the longer videos that everyone was able to look at. And again, this just created more exposure for our sellers' listings as well. Time management was big. I did learn a lot. I had to stay on top of my calendar, because if I didn't, there was a couple times where I saw myself running last minute, trying to get everything together, but it all worked out. But it was better whenever I was on top of my calendar and prepared for the open houses. What did surprise me was that Wednesdays seemed to be a more popular time for open houses. So early mornings, because I'd usually do 11 to 1, we'll call that early mornings, from 11 to 1 wouldn't be much traffic, but Wednesday afternoons got a lot of traffic. Now, I don't work Sunday, so I'll never know what a Sunday open house is like. But Wednesdays and Saturdays seem to be the best times for the open houses. We still got attendees on some Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays and Mondays. I will say Mondays, even though I didn't do as many on Mondays, seem to be the worst time for open houses, since everybody's starting their week and has other things to do and think about. Posting the content immediately after the open house, again, just because I am busy with other things, I wanted to make sure I posted all at the same time right after I got done with the open house. And it worked really well. And it's when I started posting again on YouTube as well. And so seeing the growth in that, the channel subscriber grows, my following on TikTok grow, it really gave validity to the challenge and focusing on the social media aspect. Again, too, because I get to bring people content they can enjoy, they can see homes, and it brings more exposure to our sellers. The other thing, because this hit a lot of points for me, is that I was also able to stay within the local market physically. Like, I wasn't just on the MLS looking at properties, looking at solds. I was able to have those real conversations with buyers, what they were seeing, what they were thinking about homes at different price points, which really helped me with talking to sellers about what the market's doing, what buyers are doing as well. I was also able to learn a lot while doing this and talking to buyers. I know a lot about real estate in the process, but I do not know everything. And some buyers actually taught me about different finishings, such as at one open house, I learned what a casement window was. One thing I did learn that I need to focus on going into this year is my follow-up process. That piece, even though we had the weekly emails and everything else, I wanted to make sure, again, because I don't like being a salesman, I want to make sure that when I'm following up with people that I'm bringing them valuable information that will help them, one, get to know, like, and trust me, and two, also help them in their home search, something that puts them on the right path no matter where they're at in the process. One thing I may also tweak is I had paper sign-in sheets. It was a clipboard that asked for sign-in information and then asked questions about the property. I did notice that at first it was working pretty well or I would ask the visitors to take them with them, fill out the questions as they go. Tend to notice that a lot of people started just putting them down, so I'd have to grab them and not ask them the questions anyway. So we may end up moving to a more virtual side of that where you're logging in virtually, and then that also opens for me to have more conversation with people where I'm actually asking them for their feedback. We also, as always with anything, had tech issues. At one point, I had tried to do a follow-up email with some of the attendees, and it sent the same email 3 times to one person. Had to call and apologize for that, but tech issues are always something that we've got to monitor. Systems glitch. So something I'm going to have to stay on top of as well. Last, my other thing was just overthinking in general, trying to figure out the content and stuff. I really had to tell myself that done was better than perfect. With the longer YouTube videos, again, they're more of a passion project for me. Just trying to get into that and build something there. They're recorded on my iPhone. I had a iPhone 11, I believe, when I started, so the videos were awful for the first walkthrough, just grainy. I'm doing voiceovers and I'm working, but I had to tell myself that done was better than perfect so I could keep that consistency and also keep my focus on first my clients and then second the open houses. A big win for me was completing all 50 open houses with 2 weeks to spare. I actually did it in 74 days instead of taking the whole 90 days. That was really validating, and that this could be done and that I could still serve my clients at a high level. We had 2 buyer clients go under contract and close on their home, and 1 seller client go under contract and close on their home during this challenge as well. And I was still able to give them the same high level service that I was able to give them before I was doing this many open houses in a week. I also found myself really enjoying it. After the 10th open house, I was still motivated. I was still having fun with it. After the 25th open house, I was even more motivated and having fun with it because I was halfway there, and it never stopped. So I really enjoyed it. It made me really love what I was doing and the work I was doing, especially with all the goals that it was hitting for me personally and in my business. There was one really special open house that I was able to do. So for my halfway point, I was able to sit at my childhood home, which is my grandmother's house that is listed for sale. So that was special and kind of was bringing things full circle again, where I got to do a special moment there at a special home that we have for sale. At one of the open houses, we actually had a goat that was there. So I got to make them a part of the content that I was doing. We got to name the goat. I believe his name is John, possibly. I'll have to go back and see what the goat's name actually is. But I was able to include him in the content, and that was fun. One thing, which not talking about any particular home, for some reason I have this thing where sometimes vacant homes can be very creepy. So sitting there alone with no noise kind of creeps me out, but was able to get through those and do the open houses at the creepy ones. The 50th open house that we sat was actually $900,000. And I was kind of wondering if in that kind of luxury market, if someone would come to a home that is held open for that price point. And just when I was wrapping up and locking the door, we actually had somebody come through that was looking for something very similar. So that was a nice surprise that open houses across 250 up to 900,000 and possibly even more does actually bring people to the home. The one lesson I did learn at that open house too, since it was the 50th, I decided to use a large confetti cannon, which I don't think I will ever do again at someone's house, because then I had to pick up all those little pieces and it took about 45 minutes to do so. I'll say in doing this challenge, one of the biggest skills that I gained was time management. Had to juggle clients along with these open houses, coordination, and all of my other day-to-day activities and advising and advocating and just teaching people and working in my business. It also really boosted my confidence and my skills and ability as a real estate professional, and it really made me enjoy the profession again. There for a while, a couple years ago, I was thinking about getting out. It was stressful, it was hard, but stuck to it. And then doing this challenge really has me committed to it in 2026 and back to where I can actually do something and enjoy my day to day. What this changed for me in my process is that open houses serve more purposes than just selling the home that you're sitting. One, it's marketing for that home to get it exposure, because that's what's going to sell. The more people that see it, the more likely you're going to find a buyer for that home. It also helped me market myself and my skills. Now, it was all fun activity stuff, but it was marketing myself and the services that we provide and educating people walking them through the process and advocating for them during this process. Other thing is that it serves for my content creation. We want to make sure that we're staying top of mind to people, make sure that people know that, hey, I'm in real estate, I'm doing this. And so the content creation was there to be able to post across multiple areas: YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. One of the big valuable things were the conversations we were having with people that are actually looking to buy a home. It gives us real market insight in real time and what buyers are looking for. A lot of their answers and a lot of their comments were the same across the board. They're not just settling like they used to when houses were flying and inventory was low. Inventory is up, so they have more choices. And they want to make sure they're making the right choice and they're taking the process a little slower, which is important for sellers to know and to create realistic expectations. And these things that I learned too, you can't get from just looking at the MLS and just studying data. All that is a key factor, and you want to be able to know how to do that as well. Being in the market in real time and getting real feedback has been extremely valuable in being able to serve both my seller and buyer clients. So what's next after all of this time and energy spent in 50 open houses? So this year in 2026, I have come up with the goal to do 200 open houses by the end of the year. Now, I'd love some suggestions on the type of content that you would like to see behind that, or if you want it to be another challenge that's just a year long that everyone can follow along with. And it's really shown me that where I want to focus my energy for growth and learning opportunities is improving my communication and follow-up skills. I always want to make sure, again, because I don't like to be a salesperson and be salesy, that I'm bringing people valuable information and I'm asking the right valuable questions to be able to help people where they're at in the process. So all of that has drove me to where I have hired a coach. I'm really excited about that and working through this process and working through that skill building with them. I do think this type of challenge for all the real estate professionals out there is perfect for anyone. If you like open houses, then challenge yourself to do 50 or 75 or 100 in 100 days if you feel like you can manage that. Or do something that you really enjoy. So if there's something particular that you enjoy that gets you in front of people and you're able to talk and help people through the real estate process, do a challenge around that. Biggest thing to do, make sure that you commit to it. It has to be something you're passionate about. It doesn't need to be anything that you want to improve on. I think the challenge aspect, you really need to focus around what your passion is around, because if you don't like it, you're not going to commit to it. Other thing is that you track your progress and you track your statistics. I need to work on that a little bit myself, so I have some ideas of what I want to track and then adjust accordingly afterwards. If there's small adjustments to make, but stick to the process. Like, make those small adjustments that you see need to be made during the process, but stick to the overall goal and what your process is that you planned. I want to say thank you to everyone who has viewed. Thank you so much for your love and support through this challenge and for watching these videos. Again, the longer videos were a passion project, but now I think it's going to be a part of my full-time job, especially doing 200 open houses this year. So please consider liking and subscribing. If you have any questions or if there's anything I can help you with, please feel free to text me or message me. Text message is the best way to get a hold of me, and my contact information is always in the description. Until then, next week we actually have 5 open houses, and I will see y'all there.